The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Hey, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. Welcome to the offices of Duke and Duke. We're going to look at the DAX this morning. You know that we had that pattern complete yesterday at the 60, or a few days ago at the 61% retracement. This is an hourly chart, and you're seeing it back off. It looks like it's ready to go down to complete an ABCD pattern. If we take a look at the FTSE, and believe me, it's in the news because of Theresa May being in the spotlight all the time. In the last 4 or 5 days, we've completed this ABCD pattern here at the 74.50 level. It's very important that, and it's down on the day. You notice it's way below the opening price. And if we make new lows below 74.50, this is going to be a very negative chart. So sort of keep an eye on that. That's one that could have some deep downside potential if that's the case. Now, if you'll remember yesterday when the market was opening, we were talking about the the NASDAQ, and we got up to that area of 77.22. That completed that pattern that we were looking at, and since that time, we've had a pretty significant sell-off. During that time, we've had a little bit of a bounce early this morning, but whether it's going to make new highs or not, I don't know. But the thing that I think it's very important, to keep in mind is that we have a tremendous divergence here in the Russell 2000 also. In other words, these are the two leaders of the market, folks. They've been the NASDAQ and the Russell. And as you can see, the Russell is sitting right at the 78% level of the low that we made in July. And also it's at the 61% retracement of the low that was made in June. Any move below 165 in the Russell is going to be a very negative chart pattern, folks. It's in a downtrend. It topped in early September, on September the 2nd, and it certainly has a bearish bias. Totally different than the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500, which still have some positive higher bottoms and stuff. But the NASDAQ has made a 3-drive top and has rolled over at least for 1 day. But you can see on the Russell, it's been several weeks. Now, maybe this is where the Russell digs in and it turns the whole market around. We don't know, but it's really important to watch that 165 level, because if we get below that, that's going to be breaking those levels, and that would be very, very important. We have a special guest today at the break, our good friend, Samuel Arrington Archibald Hicks Crawford. Arch Crawford from Crawford Perspectives will be on, and we'll be looking at that, showing what he has at that hour. So we'll pay attention to what Arch has at that point. I've been asked to put a chart up of a crossway we don't track very often, but this is the pound versus the Swiss franc, and as you can see, there was a nice Gartley pattern spot on up there. It's had a very big break this morning. It's way down into the 127 areas, and it continues to go lower. So that pattern has started to work. It's thanks to one of our friends from across the pond. And it's the big pond I'm talking about. That's the old Atlantic Ocean. Anyway, we'll watch that very closely in the future if someone has a response to that. Now, remember, folks, we talked about the sugar market this week, the fact that it was making an absolutely beautiful pattern. I want to bring this chart to your attention. This is a very long-term chart. Going back, it's from one of our friends up in Canada, and it basically shows the parallel channels that you've got in sugar, and it really has some really neat things. But what we're watching here is at areas around 2 and 3, because that's the one that we were paying attention to. We were looking at sugar down around that 11 cents. It's already rallied to 11.74. That's $800 in 2 days, which is a a pretty big move. And certainly, if you did that trade, you would certainly want to put your stop at break even. If you're interested in how we do that, you can subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 service that we have at TFNN, and we post some of these trades each day. We don't do all the trades all the time, but we're looking at certain things, and some of them I put here in the den early in the morning. But others, we don't quite look at those, all the time. So, and you're right, Gator, there is big rain coming our way. We had some rain 2 days in a row, very light, but we saw on the radar this morning that's coming up from Mexico, and it's going to be headed our way. Fortunately, we only get the tail end of it. The heavy part of it will be in Phoenix and northern Arizona. Very unusual to get a monsoon this late in the season. Usually they stop around September 15th, but this year they seem to be going a little more. Now, we had a request to take a look at another stock, always in the news, Oracle. And by the way, Larry Ellison owns a home here in Tucson. It's a $20 million structure, and he has never been in it. No one has ever lived in the house. It's still operated by the servants and stuff, but he has never been to the house. It's about 2 miles, maybe 3 miles from where we live, way up into the foothills, in the high foothills. I'm in the low foothills here in Tucson. We're about 2,500 feet. The mountain behind us is about 8,000. So he's up around 3,500 square feet, but it's a huge place. It looks like a museum. Doesn't look like a house. But anyway, let's take a look at Oracle here. This is either going to be a triple top up here, folks, or we've got a head and shoulders pattern, one of the two. If it can get above 52.50, it's got a chance to do the triple top. But if it doesn't, then we're completing a head and shoulders pattern here. Has some nice symmetry. We've got the right shoulder lower than the left shoulder, which is what you like to see with a head and shoulders pattern. And it does have some nice ABCD structures lined up. So I don't trade this stock, but we were asked to take a look at it. So I wanted to, to bring it to your attention to show you, what it looked like. So that's pretty much what we're keeping an eye on. We had a question this morning about the Treasury bonds, and I still believe we're going to get down a little bit lower here. Let's get this chart up so you folks can take a look at it here. I think we're going to get down somewhere in the low, right around that. Well, the price I'm looking at is 138.17. That's about 1.5 handles from where we are right now. That's a double number, folks. It's a 1.27 number off of the low on May, the early May, and it's also a long-term 1.618 expansion from March of last year. So that 138.17 is going to be a really big spot to look at the potential in the Treasury bonds. They're very oversold. There's no question about that. The $64 question is, are they going to be able to come back from this and have some type of a rally? They will have a rally, but how much it's going to be, certainly remains to be seen. So those are just some of the ones that we're looking at, early this morning, taking a pot shot at, what these markets are going to do. Remember, everything we're doing here is related to probability. It's never a certainty. And that's the key to remember. It's all about how much money you risk, not about how much money you make. That's a big difference. That's for sure. We'll be right back after we pay a few bills. 877-927-6648.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary Power Law Vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of the Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. Monday, September 24th, TFNN is launching a new updated version of our website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, and starting Monday, you'll be able to experience the new and improved TFNN website. If you're a current subscriber, don't worry, your subscription will be automatically transferred. The new TFNN.com will allow much easier access to all your account and subscription information. Get ready for the new TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, folks, we're back, and we want to talk about that stock Trillia that we've been looking at. Folks, when it got up to $300 a share, it was trading at $1,000. 1,000 times sales, not earnings, sales. And it was really, just a little bit overvalued. And it went from 300, of course, dropped 200 points down to 100. And you'll notice that the rally back yesterday stopped exactly at the 382 retracement of that previous high. And right now it is trading $10 below that this morning. That's what I saw when I woke up this morning, just to check to see what it was doing, because I wanted just to see how, the pattern was lining up as we looked at it. So sort of keep a close eye on it. Now, there's another one that we always follow for you folks. Not always, but I'm going to do it a couple days a week because it's a lot of fun. And this one is the Apple. This is a 15-minute chart going over the last couple of weeks in Apple. You can see the patterns that are there. We had a 3 drive to a top pattern when we went up to that, made new highs at 129. That was spot on. We got down and closed around 229. We got down, dropped a couple bucks. I don't know, but there should be good support at 225 today in Apple. Breaking below 225 could take it all the way down to 220. Without too much trouble. So just put that one in your quiver just to see what's going on. Wait a minute, do that. Don't go saying stuff like that. You might not be that way at all. You might not have just been exposed to the answer. No one is really stupid. They just have been exposed to the answers. Anyway, let's keep it on. Oh, well, don't let that go. There's always a new train coming by, Maria. Always a new train coming by. Not a problem. Believe me, I've seen so many trains go by in my lifetime that it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to pay too much attention to it. Now, there's a really interesting pattern here for some of you folks that trade the livestock. We've got a really, really neat pattern here in the Christmas cattle, December cattle. We've been waiting for this price objective to come in up around the 119 level. We hit there. and I believe this is going to be a pretty significant top in cattle. If you were to look at the October contract, which is into delivery, it's making a triple top up in this type of area, but that's a beautiful ABCD structure. And if you wanted to defy human nature and do the work yourself, measure the low from June 11th to out into August, and then if you do the same thing from the low that we made on August 27th to where we are right now, you notice that time and price equal about the same time in that ABCD move. What that means is the AB move is equal in price, and it's also equal in time. That's a squaring of price and time that W.D. Gann had talked about many times in his studies. So we'll need to watch that to see if it's going to go through. We'll do one thing or another. Now, the other questions people are asking is about the euro, the fact that we got down to that, almost got to that 115.20 level. We never quite made it. Let me get up here and I'll show you frustrating. You're going to see a little frustration, and it's still early. We didn't move very much. So look at the 61% retracement there, folks. That comes in at 115 even. We got to 115.04. And if you got an order set at 115.02 and you didn't get filled, you're sitting there with the melted candy bar in your hand, boys and girls. You just have to wait. You don't know. There's no other pattern in this thing on the way down. It dropped 300 pips from the ABCD structure in the butterfly that we had up at 118.20. It's dropped 300 pips in about 4 days down to this level where we are right now. It's very important that we hold that 115 level, because if we go below that, you're looking at a market that's already cascading down. There's no ABCD pattern in between. But look at the time during August the 5th and August the 15th, straight down, the same type of thing. And if you would measure those moves, you'll notice that those are exactly equal. In other words, the move from August the 5th down to August the 15th is exactly equal to the move on September the 23rd to where we are right now. So that's symmetry that you're seeing in this market, and this is why that 115 level is so very, very important. Now, that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. So that's one of the things that we want to keep a close eye on. Another one that looks like it's still headed down, and that's this Canadian dollar. We rallied slightly above the 128 yesterday for just a little bit. But to me, this is really headed down to this 127.40. We've been as low as 127.91, and 127.40 certainly looks like it's in the cards for this one. That's a beautiful 78% retracement of the low in April, and it's a 50% retracement of the low back in February. So there's a lot of things happening at that level of 127.35, 127.40 in the Canadian US dollar. So that will have some effect, of course, on the US dollar index, but not as much as the euro. The euro is the one that really does continue, makes the most news in these things as we go through. Someone's asked a question about Bitcoin, folks. I still think Bitcoin is heading towards the level of $3,800 to $4,000. It's all about blockchain technology. It's not about cryptocurrencies, but whatever you hear in the news, remains to be seen. So we'll see what's going on. Regarding the oil market, folks, I really feel strongly that we are at a major area here in the crude oil market. This is a really significant area for long term, and I don't have the chart in front of me, unfortunately, today, but if you take a look at that long-term chart in crude oil, you're going to see an awful lot of resistance around that $76 a barrel level in crude. That's a big 61% retracement going back several years. So that should be an interesting one. Plus, we're making, in the heating oil contract, we're making a pretty large ABCD pattern on the upside, and the same thing with gasoline. If you remember, we were looking at the gasoline to get a little bit higher, and it is today. You'll notice that the gasoline is getting up into this area 210, and that's going to be pretty serious resistance up into that area without much trouble. Now, if you'll remember, earlier in the week, we were talking about the Hang Seng Index, and that was one of the things that, it had that big rally, and we were looking for the Hang Seng to have a pretty good correction. This is what we had in our newsletter this week, and as you can see, we were looking for the market to come down around October 1st, October 2nd into that area of 27,100. Last night, the Hang Seng was down 2.75%, hitting that exact number actually spot on. But with that really, you'll notice here, as I post this chart, there's a very wide-ranging bar to the downside. That's highly indicative of more selling coming, boys and girls. So sort of pay attention to that one. That's going to be a real interesting one. When Arch Crawford comes on at the break, he's going to talk to us a little bit about the momentum of the market and what he's seeing there. And he's got a great deal of experience. Arch and I are pretty much the same age. He's about 4 months older than me, being the senior citizen here in Tucson. So stay tuned for Archibald Arrington Hicks Crawford, also known as Sam. 877-927-6648.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Folks, we have our favorite person on today, Sam Archibald Arrington Hicks Crawford. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm fine. Thank you.
You're welcome, Sam. I was going back over memory lane back in 1980 in the 80s with FNN with Bill Griffith and stuff, and I remember being on the show with you a couple of times during that time frame, and we got to be friends at that spot, and you were talking about the coming crash and had it nailed absolutely on the exact day of August 25th of 1987, and always remembered that, my friend. So
well, you had it nailed the top day in 1990.
Yeah, that was the only time I was right during the decade of the 90s. I remember it well. Anyway, it was.
Well, the 1987 top was the largest five-body conjunction in all of history that I checked back 800 years.
Wow.
And that was the top day, and I predicted it 2 weeks ahead of time.
They gave that a special name. Didn't they give that a special name with that five-planet?
That was the harmonic convergence, but it was 7 days later than they thought it was, which I looked at and I said, hey, this is wrong. It's 7 days later. And so it was 7 days later than the one that they celebrated, but it was the real one in the planetary equipment.
Huh. Oh, that's good.
And on the one that you called, it was the largest grouping in declination, north-south orientation ever.
Well, what are you seeing now? Any chance there could be something like that now? I mean, we had a big high way back in January of last year, and the markets for the S&P and the Dow Jones have all exceeded that level, and everybody is, blowing the horns, and even our Chairman Powell said all the lights are flashing green. Last time I heard that was Bernanke in October of 2007, so I'm a little skeptical of these guys. But what are you seeing here, Sam?
I agree with that. There's this is the first time that the NDX 100, the NASDAQ 100 top, did not make a new high on this last one, and the number of new highs on the New York Stock Exchange are pitiful, particularly for a new high. It's declining, and it looks terrible. The chart is on the front page of my new letter.
I'm looking at it now, and it's certainly with lower highs.
I was going to mention the big deal that's coming up here is Election Day, and on Election Day, Uranus is backing into Aries on that day, and it means revolution. Uranus is revolution.
Oh, Sam, we don't need to hear that. Not with all the stuff we got in the news already. Oh my goodness.
Well, my goodness. And on October 24th, the full moon is conjunct Uranus, which is revolution. Wow.
Well, we certainly live in interesting times, as the old Chinese curse says. Do you have any feeling on, I know you're an esteemed astrologer and everything, but do you have any feeling at looking at the charts of Trump or the U.S. that there is something like this getting ready to happen? You mentioned a thing like revolution. I hope you're talking about the song by the Beatles, because I don't want to hear that other one. That's for sure.
Well, otherwise, if you remember George Bush's election that nobody knew who won for 3 weeks.
Oh, with Gore. Yes, I remember that.
What happened was I also predicted something like that happening on the election day, because Mercury backed into Libra one day, went direct, and the next day it went back out of Libra. And Libra is the scales. It's evenly balanced. And what happened with that is nobody knew who won for, was it 3 or 4 weeks?
Yeah, it was quite a while, that's for sure. And they never did get over
it. That.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, what are you feeling? What's going to happen with the election? Do you see anything in the charts that thinks that one party might win over another? What do your charts say?
I don't know.
That's really, good. That's what mine say the same thing.
The chart of the U.S. or the chart of Trump. I don't do individual charts much anyway.
Okay. Now, Sam, you remember years ago we had our good friend.
I do statistical analysis of the stock market with astrology.
Yeah. Do the people in the markets, because you talk a lot about stock people, do they ever look at the divergence between the transportation and the utilities and the Dow Jones, the Dow theory that we used to have? No one seems to pay too much attention to it, but 20 years ago it was really a big thing. I mean, it was something that was quite important.
Well, as far as I know, they're back in sync, and so there's not much to say about it.
Okay, that's good. And I miss our old friend, Joe Granville. He was always great. Remember when Joe used to come on and talk about anything in the markets during the 1970s and early 80s? The market would move 2 or 3% just when he picked up the phone to chat with anybody. I mean, it was really something. He had the hottest hand ever. But,
that's right, he did.
Yeah,
and his mother was an astrologer and took him to Edgar Cayce when he was 15 years old.
Get out of here. Did he really?
Yes.
Wow, I wasn't aware of that. I always enjoyed spending time with Joe. He was always very entertaining.
You'll get a kick out of this. This is the way Edgar Cayce started his analysis. He went into trance, and he says, "This is not the type of entity that will hang in the background." Joe was always leading the parade.
Yeah. Okay, we got a question about the gold market, Sam. What's your feeling here on gold?
Well, I gave a buy signal on it in yesterday's market.
Well, there you go. You're up $13. You can't beat that. That's good.
I said it's specifically the MACD momentum index on the weekly chart gave a buy last week. And I said, we are not so naive as to suggest another downside leg is impossible or highly unlikely. However, the pluses are coming around to a bit better than 50-50, that the lows are already in place. We would definitely prefer some more base building before any sort of heavy positions, but traders who know how to get out quickly if expectations are not met quickly might be persuaded to stick a toe back in the water, and that went out Sunday night.
Well, that's good. Now, I know we got to let you go here pretty soon, but how will the folks...
It's up 13.5 right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, 1205. That's good. Sam, we like gold and silver also, and we have for a couple of weeks. What are your... how do the folks want to reach you if they'd like to get a copy of your letter? What's the best way to do it?
Well, the email is crawfordperspectives@earthlink.net, which is a lot of typing. You can Google Arch Crawford, and then the website will be the first thing that comes up. And that you can use that email, or you can call the office at 520-577-1158. Or email, or send a check to Crawford Perspectives, 6890 East Sunrise Drive, Tucson, Arizona. What is it? 5750, whatever it is.
Yeah. Hey, listen, thanks a lot, buddy. We'll talk to you soon, okay? Sam Crawford.
Take care, buddy.
Crawford Perspectives.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. If you'd like to be the bank and get the type of interest they receive instead of the low interest rates they give to clients, then I have an investment you may want to take a look at. I'm offering 4-year secured first mortgages on buildable city lots in St. Petersburg, Florida. The investment can be anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000 per buildable city lot. The interest paid is 7% per year, paid monthly. Depending on the investment, the income per month per lot ranged from $175 for a $30,000 investment to $437.50 for a $75,000 investment. If you are in the CD market, you want to look at this investment. St. Petersburg is located in Pinellas County, which is the densest county in Florida. If you're looking for an investment with your principal intact that pays a good interest rate, this may be for you. The supply is limited, so act now. For more information on these secured first mortgage opportunities, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190. Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we were looking at the chart of Tesla. We had that big sell-off because of the lawsuit or whatever, and then the lawsuit was settled and the market went up, and now we're looking at an ABCD pattern coming in around 319 to 320. We've got lots of gaps here, but because the market is very active and is traded by a whole lot of people, it should follow the technical analysis. That would complete an ABCD pattern, but with all those gaps, and I don't trade this stock. I'm just bringing it up to your attention because someone asked me to take a look at it. But at 319, 320, we have that ABCD structure. And as you can see, the high that we had in Tesla, we had 2 ABCDs at the 385 level. And from there, we broke well over $100 a share. And you can see this, the ratios and the harmony that's there. It's just, it's really quite amazing. Now we have another market that we've been in for quite some time. It is completing a pattern. Those of you that are in the 24/7 service, we shorted the British pound up there at that 132.90 level. We're now trading below 130 considerably, so we're going to be covering our short position down here in this 129 and change level, and then we'll be waiting for a rally to sell it back. We're down about 5 days in a row here. We're down about 10 days from the high, and it certainly completed a really nice pattern, and our risk was only $300 on this, and it's paid better than 4 times that back, so you certainly want to book some profits at those levels. You're not looking for something to be Babe Ruth or anything like that. You want to be more like Pete Rose and get a few signals here and there. Folks, one of the things that we were talking to Arch Crawford about was also brought to our attention by our good friend Bill Meridian out of Cycles Research out of Vienna, Austria. And if you look at this, the advanced decline line, you can see how that is actually going down also, along with that new highs to new lows that Arch had talked about. This is the way of looking at momentum, folks, and that's not good momentum in the market when you don't have strong leadership across the board. This is one of the charts that we talked about on Monday that I think we should, pay attention to. This is the different divergences that we have going on right now. If you look at that home construction and go back and look what happened in 2007, and then if you look at the banking index, and the banking index is really, really apparent that it has some major divergence, as well as the real estate market. So, and if you look at the far right, on the lower right-hand chart at the very bottom, you're looking at the number of new highs with the momentum diverging, and that's what we were just showing you on those other two charts, how the momentum between the new highs and new lows is not confirming that we have a major market here, and a major bull market breaking out, because you only have some of these stocks. In the Dow stocks, there's only 30 stocks, and they are cap weighted, so that's a bias right there. And then with the NASDAQ, you had the big FANG stocks, and that was a bias there. So all of that, gives you an idea that, this is maybe not the way it looks in real life. So we'll just have to wait and see. And of course, the fact that I don't know where the Russell is trading this morning, but if we get below this 165 level, it is up on the green. Thank you very much, Maria. We must be on the same page. But there is that 166.33 is where it changed. And anything below that 165 level would be extremely negative in our opinion. So that's something that I would, certainly, keep an eye on. If you bought the gold and silver yesterday that we were talking about when it pulled back, those have very good profits. So hang in there and see what happens with that, and we'll move on to the next one from there. The sugar is still acting quite nicely. If you did the cattle, it's also started to work today, even though it's very minimal, and sort of watch that. Now, the soybean complex still inching higher, even though we have negative news. We're in the midst of the harvest, and yet the beans are still ratcheting higher. And keep an eye on that Christmas wheat, folks, because if it gets down to that 504 level, that would be a really interesting pattern. We talked, in fact, let's just bring this up and show you. We had it in here yesterday to take a look at it, so you can take a quick look. Last I checked, it was around 508. And if we get down to that 504 level, in that, I would certainly be interested in that one. That would be a very interesting pattern, to see it unfold. So this is what we're looking at early this morning. Market's pretty strong this morning, coming out of the box, which it usually is when the market opens, was lower and then comes back to be unchanged or higher. And not only that, but this is the second day of the month. This is the most bullish days of the month are the last 3 days of the month and the first 2 days of the month. So this is the last of the highly bullish days of those 5 days. So we'll see how it ends up, for today. One of the questions that someone has brought to our attention is the crude oil market. What would I be looking for? If we get crude oil above $77 a barrel, folks, we're trading at 76 and change. If we get it above 77 on a closing basis, I would have to consider that to be, a breakout above the long-term weekly 61% retracement with a profit objective. Our next target would probably be in the area of 80 to 82 on a longer term basis. Regarding the bonds, we spoke about the bonds a little earlier, and I still believe we've got a chance for the bonds to get down to that 139, 138.5 level, and from there we could get a really substantial rally. But right now it's still in a major downtrend. It doesn't appear it has any friends, and we'll see what's going to happen. Now I have one other chart that is very, very important, and that is we have to go across the pond all the way over to Japan. You'll notice that the Nikkei is now making a 27-year high. Folks, the Nikkei topped on December of 1989 at 40,000. We went all the way down to just under 7,000 many years ago, and now we're rallying back. I didn't do the long term on this. I probably should have, but what I did want to show you is the fact that we are making a really nice butterfly pattern here in the Nikkei over the whole year from 2018. You'll notice that it has got a perfect ABCD structure up here around this 24,500 level. And so pay a close attention to this one, because this could be a double topping formation. And if you did the math between 40,000, this is about this is about a 50% retracement of the whole move of the bear market that started in 1989. Now, did Japan go out of business during that time? Of course not. So these bull markets and bear markets, they take their turns, and we'll see how they go. But let's keep an eye on it. That's what we're watching, and whether it's going to work or not. I do not trade the Nikkei. I bring this to your attention because someone asked me to take a look at it, and that's what I was trying to show you is the pattern that we have there. Just like the Hang Seng. I do not trade the Hang Seng index, but a lot of our friends over in Hong Kong certainly do, and they believe in these patterns explicitly. So it makes it real interesting, to see them work when they do work as well as they do. It makes you certainly feel, really very, very interesting. As far as the next target on gold, folks, if we can get gold above 12.12, it's going to have game. We're up about $17 right now, and it's got a chance to be moving. Silver's been the leader of the pack. As you know, we pulled back to a 61% retracement yesterday, thanks to our good friend Mr. Z in the room, yelling and screaming, buy silver, and hi-ho silver, and away she went with Clayton Moore and Jay Silverheels, also known as the Lone Ranger and Tonto.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, we're back, and since we were talking about Clayton Moore, also known as the Lone Ranger, let's just put up the chart here for Christmas silver. You see we're just hit the 1.27 expansion, 1489. The ABCD structure on this takes you to just about 1495, but this market has certainly turned, and you want to be buying the first ABCD correction in this market, folks. It's got a potential for really big things, as does, I believe, gold. So whether this is going to happen or not, certainly remains to be seen. Let's check and see what we're looking at here. I will see. David, let me test you here, buddy. Do you know when Tonto said Nebahachi, you know what that meant? Means never happen. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I was a big fan of the Lone Ranger and Tonto. And, well, those of you that have ever visited me here in Tucson, there's a Hall of Fame cowboy here that if you ever get a chance to meet him, he's given me some books that are just absolutely amazing. And I've got this pocket knife from my hero when I was 5 years old, and that was Lash LaRue. And Lash LaRue was married 13 times. And when Rex said Lash LaRue loved women, and my wife said, I don't think so, not if he was married 13 times. Anyway, it was rather funny. Anyway, his horse was named Blackie, and I've got this beautiful pocket knife from 1942. And so anyway, that's neither here nor there. But we are certainly in cowboy country. We're in rainy cowboy country today, folks. We've got a big rainstorm coming up through the Gulf of Mexico and the Sea of Cortez. So we're going to be doused with rain here for the next 4 or 5 days, it looks like. But we're still able to keep doing our business. Yes, sir, on Camino Rosa. And you'll never guess where we're going for lunch today, Marshall. You got it, baby. Guadalajara. Live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.